It's also, it's not very long one, but we will complete one of the very important section. In your resumes, you can just create this as building or built modern data lakes with object storage. That's what we are going to do. Okay, how to build modern data lakes with object storage. I have given you so many concepts, right, to put it in your resume. So one of these things, this is very, very important one and the most valuable one, what you have done so far. Okay, building modern data lakes with object storage. In bracket, you can write S3. Okay, that's what we are doing. Right, and what I am going to use is not Amazon S3 because it is on the cloud, right? Just like you might have heard, so many places you will be asked not only to use cloud, but what will happen in your premise, on premise. I'm not supposed to move my data to cloud, right? So what we are going to use is one of the very prominent open source S3, which can be used either on the cloud or on the premise, which is called Minio. Okay, so we are using Minio to create that data lake, and the concept that you are going to learn is applicable for AWS tomorrow, Azure, or Google Cloud, or Minio itself on the cloud. Any of these things you can extend it. Exactly the same concept. Only thing is different platform. That's all. Okay. So first of all, what's a data lake? A data lake is all kinds of data. There can be real-time data, there can be RDBMS data, there can be log files, there can be CSV files, there can be pictures, there can be documents. All this will be available in one single place. Now you'll ask, what is the advantage to have it on one single place? What is the problem? I can access all these things, right? One is, assume that there is an application, a web application which is built on the top of your RDBMS. You want to refer to a document. Yesterday I mentioned to you what you need to do. Log off or log in to another application, then log in and then find out what is the link, and this are not linked. Big problem, right? So there are different kinds of data sources existing in the organization. Even today, they don't talk each other. And why they don't talk each other? Organizational silos, one important thing. Another thing is that one department does not talk with another department. Another reason is that this may be created in mainframe in 1970s. This might have created in 1990s. Both different technology. You are not able to talk to each other, right? So now, this is the place where everybody wants to concentrate on. Why? Analytics. All your machine learning, anything that you want to do is happening on this one single source of data. Previously, people called this one as data warehouse, right? And they created models, fact dimensional model they have created. Otherwise, they have created the normalized models. Kimball, Inman, all these are the people who worked on this. What is the difference between a data warehouse and a data lake? Data warehouse contained only structured data, relational databases, those kind of things. That is what was there in the data warehouse. But today you have got what? Unstructured data, structured data, images, all these things are there. You want to combine. Yesterday I have shown you an application where you are managing the documents, PDFs, right, into a structured document. So you want to combine everything. So that's why a data lake is much bigger than what you have learned in data warehouse. You can say that it is a superset of data warehouse. Some people, what they do is that they will use a data lake very close to the data warehouse so that they can exist together. That's also possible. But normally, because of the modern technologies, big data and all, the people are creating the data lake from scratch. And that's what we are going to do today. Right? And we are going to use object storage. And yesterday I mentioned to you, why not a data lake in HDFS Hadoop? Because Hadoop is for unstructured and structured data. Why I should be using an S3 instead of it? You got the answer yesterday, right? The cost, the maintenance, right, that is needed for it, block storage, and I don't want computation to be performed on that particular data because anyhow I am doing analytics. Because of those reasons, the most modern architecture as of today, they prefer S3 over HDFS. These are all the questions that you will be getting, right? Why not HDFS? Why not database? So you should be able to answer it perfectly. Now another advantage of using on-premise S3. What is the advantage? Tomorrow, if the organization is deciding that I should move to cloud, if this S3 is already created on your organization, moving to cloud is just a minute's command work, right? Of course, data has to be transferred, but it is very easy. Why? Because S3 is same everywhere, as I told you. Right? So that's what we are going to do. So please see the steps, and after that I will give you some time to do this because we have to do this. This is very, very important. One of the best. So far you have studied everything we are going to combine into one data lake, and then we will use that data lake for consumption, and I will show you how to use it. Right? So what we need to do is first start with this one. Start with your command prompt. Open the command prompt. Right? And the first thing is installation of S3 on your virtual machine. So we are going to install S3. There are so many. If you want to know another one which is also very famous, another S3 is by Red Hat. This is by Red Hat. It's called Ceph, C-E-P-H. Another one, Minio. I'm very close with Minio. Because from the beginning onwards I'm working with Minio, and as you have seen all the articles that I have written also on Minio, and it is very good, one of the very prominent object storage that is being used in the industry. So what we are going to do is open your browser and type Minio, press enter. So you will see high performance object storage for AI workloads. Look at that. That heading itself is giving you more than what you need, right? So object storage, AI workloads. So you want to apply artificial intelligence, analytics, machine learning, all these things. So you are creating your object storage. It is not block storage. The difference between object storage and block storage, yesterday I explained to you. Object storage as together, it is not divided into 128 MB blocks. There is no name node, data node concept. There is no sharding problems. Everything from 1 terabyte to 5 terabytes, right? Even small files to 5 terabytes can be put into object storage. Now, if you are clicking on downloads, right? And click on Linux, because our virtual machine is on Linux, and please understand that whenever you are getting time, you can install it on your Windows or Mac OS, anywhere you want. Click on Linux, right? And look at the Minio server and click on x64. What is x64? Yeah. 64-bit operating system, right?
Site is not opening downloads for.
It will. If it is opening for me, how will it not open for you?
Yeah. Everybody has
It's slow.
slow.
Mac is fast.
Now Mac power not.
It's clicking, it's opening, right?
No, only in Mac it is we are not able to.
Yeah, Windows it is
Not opening.
Windows, it is not opening?
not.
Anyway, okay.
Yeah.
Either use another Chrome or something like that.
It's showing fast.
Your connection is not secure.
You are opening it from your
Virtual
machine. I told you that don't do that. I have opened it from Safari. Okay, use it. Please open it from your local system. The reason why you will never be able to download it from the virtual machine is HTTPS has to be enabled in the virtual machine. Open it.
You said open in virtual, so we are
Open it in the means in the virtual machine. We are going to install it. I want this command to be copied.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Anybody who are you familiar with the word wget? What is wget? It is a Unix command for downloading the file. And please look at the protocol if you want to know the reason. HTTPS, that's why you got that particular message and it is not connecting. So I want to bypass it. That's why I have told you to open it on the local system. Copy that command. Okay, the first command, only the first command without the dollar symbol. Look at that. I am doing like this. Right click. Copy. Yeah. And then go to the virtual machine. Right click. Paste. And now the command is very, very clear. wget from an HTTPS and press enter. See, this is how you will bypass that particular problem, that server connection issue. So see, 100% it has downloaded. Only the first line, my dear friend, it is the command. First line without the dollar symbol.
Client, right?
Yes.
Virtual machine.
This one, this W get
Oh, okay.
Download server.
All right. The server is being installed. Then you need to do one more thing. If the server is there, what we need? Client. So just come down and you will see immediately down the Minio client, Minio client, and right click. Remember that Minio client is MC. Look at that last word. And the Minio server is MINIO. So right click and I am going to do the copy and I am going to go to the virtual machine and exactly the same place where I installed the object storage, I am going to right click and paste the command that I have just copied now, which is MC, and press enter. So Minio, and MC are available now in the local machine, in the virtual machine. So let's see that. ls, you will see there is MC and there is Minio. Right? Next important thing is give the permission for execution to both Minio and MC. How will you do that? Type the command chmod 777 to Minio and similarly execute chmod 777 to MC, and after that if you do lc, it is not green color, it is color is changed, which means that now you have got the full execute permission.
Oh.
Got it? Next thing, for MinIO to work, you need a local directory which will be used as the place for storing your data. So let us create a directory now, and we are going to create a directory in the local file system, which is the virtual machine, and we will tell MinIO to use that as the storage place. So how will you do that? /Minio, we are going to start the server. Okay, sorry. We have to create a directory, mkdir, and remember it is in the local machine, in the, virtual machine. Virtual machine home directory. So mkdir, let us create a directory called what will do, object storage or storage, mkdir storage. So remember, this is the place which internally will be used by MinIO. Can you tell me a similar thing that you have seen? Remember when we installed Mongod, we created data/db? Exactly the same thing. Now you created a storage directory, we will tell MinIO to start the S3 service by using this directory. How will you do that? MinIO server, okay, and give the complete path home/cloudera/storage as the directory name, because just now you created a directory called storage, correct? So what is happening? The object storage S3 service will now be started with this particular storage as the directory. Press enter and do not touch this particular screen after you start it until you finish off all our work. So you can see now so many things happened there. MinIO object storage started, and it has given you the access key and access secret. What is access key? MinIO is the access, MinIO admin is the access key, and MinIO admin is the secret key as well. Please remember this. In your future, whenever you are working with AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, anything, it is all controlled by two values. What are they? Access key and secret key. Exactly the same thing now you have for your S3.
Detected default credentials.
That's okay. You can change it, but we don't need to change. It is just a security message, because everybody knows that it is MinIO admin, so it is telling that, okay, please change it if you want to. What is the port by default? MinIO will be available, 9000. Now what I want you to do is that open the browser on your local machine, not virtual machine, local machine, and can you type the URL? It is not the virtual machine. Can you type that URL that you have seen? What is the URL? No.
HTTP 10.
That is the IP. Please look at that IP. And you should be starting the MinIO web browser, and please copy MinIO admin and MinIO admin as the user ID and password.
Single word.
Look at that.
The access to same password.
And press enter. You will now be seeing an empty screen, and it will tell you that there are no buckets on the left hand side. Remember yesterday I mentioned to you that in S3 you will not be creating directories, but you will be creating buckets. Raj, is it okay? MinIO admin, access key, secret key, right? This is the basic. Your S3 service is now available and it is started. right? Now what we need to do? Create a bucket. So, go to the virtual machine, open another command prompt. Do not touch this command prompt. This command prompt should run in the background as the server. If you kill this, server will be stopped.
So we can create a daemon job and keep this.
Absolutely, yeah. All those things you can do, right? And now what I'm going to do, open the command prompt, okay?
Open the daemon job. Ravi,
Ah,
can we know how to create the daemon job? I never created this.
ampersand. Just to put an ampersand background, otherwise sudo service, create a service.
So the file name we can put. this
Put it in an
command
SH
inside
file,
that.
put it in an SH file.
And that file we need to move to etc folder.
Absolutely.
Just
Otherwise,
CTL.
otherwise install it as a cron job when you are starting it. So many ways are there.
Okay.
Okay. In Windows, it is very easy. Go to administrative tools and then start the service. Remember, your service was running and I told you to kill that particular service at the time. So that screen, you go there and start as a service. I'll tell you, don't worry. All right. So next what we are going to do is we have to start the client. So what I want you to do, go to foroursun.com/passion. foroursun.com/passion, and please find out minio.txt. And I want you to copy the last line. Do not do anything on the top part. Please look at that last line and please understand what is the meaning. Listen first. I am going to start a client. In Minio, whenever you are starting a client, you have to give an alias name to your client. So you are telling that add an alias called myminio, which is pointing to this server. Understand? So wherever you are now going to refer later by saying myminio, that denotes your server. Clear? So you are creating an alias. So please copy that command. Okay. Right click, copy, and go to the virtual machine. And I told you to open a new command prompt, right? And you are in the home directory, correct?
Correct.
Because in the home directory only our MC is there.
Right.
And now right click and paste and press enter. So you should get a message added myminio successfully. Okay, clear the screen. /MC ls list whatever is there in myminio. Is there any bucket? No, right?
No.
And I want you to go to another tab, Minio client, press enter. The complete guide to Minio and client, and please look at the commands. Is it not very similar to your HDFS and your Unix commands? And can you find out what is the command for creating a bucket? MB, make a bucket, correct? The third one, correct? So what I am going to do is, I am going to create a bucket by typing MC MB my Minio and the name of the bucket. Sorry, spelling mistake. My Minio data lake. So I'm going to create a bucket called data lake. It is like a directory, but don't call it as a directory. So what is the message that you got? Bucket created. Now can you refresh the screen that you have used earlier from the local machine and see that that bucket is available there?
Always we have to use the client
Because
to run.
MC is .sh file, so ./MC is Unix sh file. You can type MC also, it will work. But as a good practice, any sh file you will write /.
Because the current directory is not
Yes,
in the path.
current directory, that's all.
Because that's not in the path,
Absolutely.
right?
Okay, now you go back to your local host or 127, sorry, the IP number :9000 that you typed in your local machine browser, remember? Where you logged into the browser, and can you refresh?
Yeah, it's created.
What are you doing, Bhaskar? Go to your local machine.
What do you do?
Yes.
Refresh.
Local machine browser.
You open, right?
In the
Yeah, refresh that.
Are you open this? No. This one.
So you should be seeing a bucket, right?
Yeah.
Data lake is the name of the bucket. So successfully you created a bucket. So far it's clear or not? Devraj, fine. You are not doing, Surya.
No, actually, I missed the first part, but I
Okay.
getting things.
Colon line, right? Slash media. That's all. You can enter. No, you can enter this. Remove it. Press it. Go here. Minio admin.
Then you have
Minio admin. Same.
Yes?
Oh.
All right. Now we are going to do the magic. We are going to create the data lake. And this is where, again, the innovation is coming in. How are you going to bring the data? You will use Scoop for RDBMS, but Scoop will work on HDFS only. How will you bring the Kafka data, real-time data here? How will you bring a CSV file? How will you bring a picture? How will you bring the document? This is where the people are spending digitalization initiative, 40-member team, creating a data platform, 2-year, 3-year, right? And we are going to do in less than 10 minutes. And what is the technology? Presto. And this is where Presto is coming, and that is the reason why I taught you those things. So what I am going to do is, in Presto, I am going to create a connector to
S3.
my Minio. And please remember that if I can connect to my Minio, if I change the access key and access secret, and if I give the internet ID of S3, I will be able to connect to AWS also, Azure also, Google Cloud also. Imagine Presto, Minio, AWS, Google Cloud, S3, my MySQL database, Kafka, and my Hadoop. This is the project that I am doing everywhere. See how powerful and how innovative it is. No hassles, no learning curves, no big budgets, right? So let's do that. What we are going to do is, I created a bucket called data lake. Remember that, okay? We have created a bucket called data lake. Now the biggest problem, okay, let me first explain to you. There are some very innovative steps that we need to take here when we create the data lake. So what I'm going to do is, first I am going to go to the etc catalog of Presto to add a connector. And all of you know this. So what I'm going to do, cd presto ls, remember we had server, and remember we had etc, and we had catalog. All these are very, very familiar to you, and I have showed you the magic last class when we have showed connecting to Hive, connecting to Kafka, connecting to MySQL. This we have already completed. Right? Now what I am going to do, I am going to create another property file, and that property file will be pointing to S3, which is my destination, right? So what we need to do, how will I call it? vi datalake.properties. I am creating a property file, datalake.properties. Press enter. Go back to the screen where you opened that minio.txt. Wait. This is not simple. Why this is not simple? You might have learned that if you are connecting to Hive, already we have a connector hive.properties. If you open hive.properties, you will see connector.name equal to hive hadoop 2. And you know very well that Hive uses a meta store. And I told you at the time that this is the most worst thing that can happen in a technology, that you created a database, but the meta store of that database is separate. So Hive uses which meta store in your virtual machine? MySQL. Remember, I told you all these things, and I showed you that property file, and I showed you. These are all because of these things that I told you at the time. So the biggest problem with Hive is that if I use the Hive connector, I need a meta store which is separate. Now I am using a data lake, and if this data lake needs a separate meta store, then I need to install a separate database, correct? And if I am using AWS S3, then I need to have a separate database. And if I am using Azure, I need to have a separate database. So I cannot use Hive Hadoop 2. But the magic is that Presto is giving you a very powerful method where Presto will tell, I want to use Hive and Hadoop 2, but I want to use the metastore, which is a bucket, but not an external database. That's the most powerful thing here. You are bypassing a big problem of Hive. So, that bucket that we created just now called data lake, I am going to use, please change this one, we have to change it. Instead of the data lake catalog here, I am going to write data lake, and look at that word. I am going to use Hive metastore as a bucket, but not a database. If I don't have this particular facility, I won't be able to do any of these things. So, I am going to copy, that is the reason why I created that bucket. So, I am going to copy this, we have to edit it, right click, copy, come back to that virtual machine and put that particular one, paste, and I am going move there, and I am going to change this one as S3//data lake. Now you will ask me a question. Hey, from where that word S3 // came? You used my Minio, right? And it is an object storage, I told you. What is the protocol like HTTP, HTTPS? What is the protocol that is used for accessing object storage? S3. And you are telling that, okay, I am going to use access key, Minio admin, we already know, and look at that word that is given. So tomorrow, if it is AWS S3, you will just change this, and this. That's all. It will connect to AWS. If you just change this to Azure, it will just connect to Azure. I got a hybrid cloud architecture now. So tomorrow, if the company is having some part in Azure, some part in Google Cloud, some part in Amazon, some in my database, some in Minio, some in Ceph, I have only one tool. And I connected to everything. Only thing I will add one more property file. AWS.properties, Azure.properties, just like Datalake.properties, that's all. And why we are able to ask S3 // look at this, S3 path style access equal to true. And we have to add one more line which is related with SSL. We are not using SSL, I missed that line. So I have to add one more line, SSL is false. Okay, I'm going to add that. So go to the Presto documentation. I will just tell you. And in the Presto documentation, just go to the connectors. And there is an S3 connection. hive.s3.ssl.enabled is false. That's what I have to do. So I am going here. Please copy this line. Why false? Remember, we are using HTTP, not HTTPS. If in your organization they are securing the S3 with HTTPS, you will be using enabled equal to true. You don't have to write it, by default it is true. All right. Now another very powerful line is there inside this particular documentation. Can you tell me what is the meaning of that last but one line? Not the last line, last but one line. Hive.s3 select push down enabled equal to true. What does that mean? Push down is the most modern feature. If you have a database, if I am trying to access and I am writing a query, where is the query getting executed if it is a join? It will bring the data and it will execute in this machine, your client. When you do push down enabled equal to true, that join happens in the database itself, so that my access is so fast and powerful. So you have to write down that I used S3 push down, select push down. Select push down is a most advanced feature in the cloud architectures, where you will be pushing down the query complexity to the underlying S3 rather than using it in the client, so that if you use reporting tools, etc., the maximum load will happen on the database and then you get the data fast.
But database is outside of the data lake, right?
I am using S3. Consider S3 as your database now. Okay. All right. So you did all these things, and now I am going to save this particular file. And as you already know, you have to go to the server. Make sure all the things that you studied are now combined. Java home, because without a Java 1.8 you can't do it. /home/cloudera JDK8, that is Java home. Export. You should all be writing a script for this, so that just write that script, the Java home will be set. Path equal to dollar java underscore home slash bin dollar path. My Java home is set. In the other window, my Minio server is running. I didn't touch that. And now what you need to do? Bin slash launcher run. Press enter.
Java home slash bin path
JDK.
JDK
bin colon bin తర్వాత colon dollar path.
this path right
Sorry?
iOS SSL enable.
colon dollar path.
So you got server started, as you can see in the screen. Now I am going to open a new window. And what happened?
Path is not setting.
These are all 10th time we are doing. Okay, come.
True, false.
Space here. Remove space after bin.
After this
Single
Now I am going to go to presto again, another command prompt, because I am going to run the CLI.
yes.
So how many windows are running now? One window for Minio server and one window for presto server. And now I am going to presto again, repeat the same line for all your information. Again I am typing java underscore home equal to slash home slash cloudera slash jdk8 and then export path equal to dollar java underscore home slash bin colon
Server install server.
dollar path. So the Java home is set, and once the Java home is set, what I am going to do? Java minus jar presto CLI executable.jar and then show catalogs. We have seen this. You added the property called data lake, and now data lake is available as a property. Correct? So you got data lake. Now starts the magic. Look at this. Okay, don't miss all these things. What I am going to do, I am going to bring the data of my MySQL into my S3. How? Create table. Okay, before that, I have to create a schema in my data lake. Create schema. You want to call this particular data lake as, let's say, our organization name is Passion. So create schema, data lake dot passion. What is the meaning? Data lake is the name of the catalog. Inside that you are creating a schema called Passion. Create table data lake dot passion dot dept as select star from MySQL dot retail underscore db dot. See that query? One line. No scoop, no spark, no Scala, nothing. What it is doing? And I go to press enter. Got the data into S3. Bring from hive. Create datalake.passion.schools as select star from hive.default my schools. Don't make a mistake. Before you are doing this, what do you need to do?
Server to start.
Okay. Control L. Show tables from datalake dot.
Passion.
Now use the JDBC jar file to create the reports from the data lake. What is the advantage that you got? Remember, Presto is running on the same machine as the data lake. No need of any network for bringing the data from the other databases. Everything is happening locally. Nobody in this world, no technology in the world as of today can get this faster than this. Because it is local and there is no network. I bypassed network and I created a data lake. 1 hour. Any organization, you can do this. This is one of the ultimate thing that you can do in the big data world. There is nothing beyond this, believe me. No commercial tools. Nothing at all involved. All open source.
Why they are not doing that? Wait,
That I don't know. That I don't know. That's
because
if
most
I
of
am
the-
there, I could have done this.
Because any cons are
Lack
there.
of knowledge. The architect doesn't know all this technologies where to use what to use.
So I'll